Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 versus 1 on Argentan Crossroads. You can get the map if you Google it, pretty much. Just don't go asking in the comments. If you have, go ask there. You obviously haven't been listening, in which case, of course, why are you even watching this? But we shall be watching a 1 versus 1. We shall be watching Tourney of Macaronni. I wonder how that works out. Fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 4th Armored versus the Panzers under the command of Major Seph. And we are seeing a 2 pioneer start versus a 2 engineer start. In that sense, nothing out of the ordinary. Walking through the apple orchard. Was it oranges or peaches? I'm not entirely sure. I've never been an expert on fruits, in particular when they're in games and I can't actually see them. But it looks like sort of apples and pears. Oh well. The engineers are probably enjoying a free lunch there. Wehrmacht quarter spits out the Volkswagen squad first, right there for Seph. Points are being secured left and right. And a rifle squad up there from the barracks, although in that sense not a huge surprise considering there's only that and jeeps that come out of it. The Wehrmacht heads westwards to sort of stay on their side of the road, while the pioneers did cross it to secure some munitions right there. And we are seeing a bit of wiring up here to ensure no one can just sneak in here, making it a bit harder. But of course there's still this spot. Of course the Americans, I wager, will be moving in soon. Sticking to the cemetery wall, creeping past the tombstones. Here lies Francois. He died of frog legs. Literally, he choked on them. Riflemen engaging the Volksgunners behind heavy cover. The Volksgunners actually moved back to the fuel point. Apparently, Seph is not going to be dislodged anytime soon. Of course, he's going to be taking a bit more damage to the riflemen behind the heavy cover. Of course, he could quickly move behind the tree, right behind it afterwards. And he's slightly moving away, and there we go. Second squad of Volksgunners going out. Seph going with a heavier infantry start. And of course, sticking them together so they do function better. And we are seeing another rifle squad up here. Could try and flank the German positions up here. One position unit taking up position in the chapel, then quickly moving on, finding nothing but pamphlets. Rather than engaging the Volksgunners. Again, heavy cover. The Volksgunners are actually retreating. 1 man down. Heinz wishing he had some of that wine. But a bit too late. And also pretty aggressive mining already here going on from Tourney and Macaroni. Pushing on pretty hard. Pioneer's going to get pushed off as well. Volksgunners pushing up. Moving up behind an old cart, then behind the tree. MG42 though arrives in time for Seph. Will it be able to save him from complete dislodgement of the western, well, most of the map? In fact, going for the cut-off mine there. He could consider mining a bit more. That Tourney of Macaroni. Pushing onwards, going for the cut-off right there. Seph there on the other hand, securing the right-hand side of the map, suddenly going from a north-south split to an east-west split. MG setting up to support the Volksgunners, so the one squad is getting a bit torn up in the middle of the road, going for that point to sort of reconnect the resource, in particular the munitions, but also the fuel, in particular since there's actually high munitions, which is considerably nice to have. And of course the same sort of happened down here. High munitions point was rendered disconnected to the American effort, and there go the riflemen on the run. Panzers pushing in, and the engineers go down. Bit aggressive play right there by Tourney of Macaroni, and sadly there shall be no macaroni for this poor bastard. Man's going down in front of the chapel, hoping to lure the Americans in with promises of eternal salvation and Bibles. They do love their Bibles. MG opens up, keeping the Volksgunners supported. And of course, the riflemen are in heavier cover, so they will be a bit harder to get out of there, but actually move out of it. Not entirely sure what he's hoping that he might have actually given him an attack order and then forgotten about, which actually caused the Americans to follow. That can happen from time to time, and you have to be careful about that. Very careful, in fact. Riflemen moving up here. Another mine down there. Nice position. The Pioneers are taking quite a thrashing from Macaroni's riflemen. Engineers moving up there. Points being lost there, in fact. Majority of the map is currently in the hands of the Americans of the 4th Armored.
One of our sectors has been
Looks like we do have a sniper out for Seph. Die Scharfschütze targeting the enemies of the Reich.
Our supply lines are broken. We have territory out of supply.
Advancing in the name of das Vaterlandes. Bit of aggressive harassment going on right there by Tourney Macaronni, and a 3rd squad of Volkskriegs going out. So a rather heavy Wehrmacht start. Adding an extra Volkskriegs squad to the usual 2 Volkskriegs MG sniper start, in fact. So that is some considerable aggressive play, in fact, being engaged in there by Seph. The mine, though, has not been hit, and the sniper's moving in. What are you doing? What are you doing, Koenig? No! You don't have your mine-proof boots on! And yeah, that's always why it can be a nice thing to sort of aggressively mine. Your opponent, of course, is going to be likely to hit them if he's not careful. Interesting enough, it rather looks like Macaroni is not... Oh, well, he's mined there, actually, so never mind. But always mine, in particular the further you can get in, the further you should mine your opponent's territory. It's going to make it rather difficult for him to sort of advance. And going to consequently rather delay him. Mine goes off there, killing a few troops. Pioneers send off. Another engagement right here. The Volkskriegs will quickly lose that. In fact, note the unit preservation right here displayed by Seph. He immediately retreats. He does not wait till someone's lost. He just retreats, realizing it's 1 squad versus 2. I can't win this. Let's just leg it, lads. So nicely done right there by Seph. Skirmish phase has been reached. Kriegwerk swiftly going up. Volkskriegs getting reinforced. Miner push up here. Mines going down there. In fact, quite heavy mining. The MG42 is also there, although... Note also covering any sort of attack from this angle. Nicely done. And of course, if something comes here, he will be aware of it, since there will be infantry in front plus mines. So a roll nicely done by Seph. Fighting gloriously for the Panzers. Volkskriegs squad pushing up. Hiding up here behind an old car. And the Volkskriegs are rather quickly set back again. Heinz realizing he forgot something over in the bushes, and the rest of the squad had to go back, or so they say. Oh, nice flanking up here by the riflemen, although can't really do much, in particular since there's only 1 window there. But still using it to sort of check for anything else that could be causing a problem for the Americans' flank. So there we go. Nice assault going on there. 2 Volkskriegs squads against 3 squads of riflemen, including 1 flanking the Volksgrenadiers. That could definitely be to the advantage. And there we go. Seph again, rather realizing this is the time to leave. Retreats with as many men in a semi-useful condition as possible. Kriegbergs is up at the same time. Motorpool going up. Oh, he's going for Grenadiers first. Of course, can equip him with a Panzer, but he's not going to quite cut it the same way a pack will do. So that is going to be around the port. Mines going off right here, killing 3 riflemen right away, pinning the rest. Fuel being secured there. Volkskriegs advancing in. Getting the drop on the Americans, going for the German fuel. And the MG42 holding up on this hill up here. Mine goes off. Somewhere. Not entirely sure where though. Ah, right here. So they were trying to advance up. Trying to get the flank on the MG. The MG42 turns about, stopping the engineers, or at least hoping to do so. And there we go. The engineers are swiftly suppressed. The riflemen are going to flank up, but they will be hitting a mine. There we go. 1 MG supported by a few pioneers and lots of mines is holding off a considerably larger fort again. That is the power of mines. They can rather sort of multiply your defenses, make them stronger, considerably stronger, and allow you more time to react. Plus, of course, killing stuff. Panzer going out now. Armored car pushing in through the center. MG turns about again. The armored cars moving up. The Grenadiers don't have the Panzer ready yet, but there we go. Rakettenpanzerbüchse up. And the armored car is just within range. Nice hit there, Heinz. And he is pushed off. And overall, nice defense right here. Barely lost anything. Caused quite considerable casualties. And again, only using a few mines in an MG42. So again, you know, thinking up your defenses and augmenting them in the right way can really mean you can defend a considerable nice spot with considerable few resources. So in that sense, there's some defensive thought for you. And again, mines win games. And currently it rather looks like Tourney of Macaronni is actually slacking up on the mines, which he shouldn't be doing. If anything, he ought to be laying down more, perhaps even some barbed wire and perhaps some tank traps. Just because you're the Americans and you know the ones that usually tends to be attacking does not mean you should neglect the defense. And again, that is sadly something a lot of American players tend to do. They sort of forget that eventually the Germans will be attacking, and then they haven't really made something, so the Germans have to pay a lot while attacking. So that is something vital to remember. Let's go look at Macaroni. 3 command points, but no doctrine as of yet. And what's going on the base here? We're seeing 4 riflemen. He could consider getting a medic station. I mean, with all that infantry and such, I mean, a medic station would be able to recover some of the infantry and form it into a full squad, thus giving him further offensive and defensive firepower. And of course, even perhaps giving him a troop at the right spot, perhaps even allowing him to really push forward and do some harm with just 1 squad after a large battle. Rifleman here going caught. Ow, Hank went down, leaning himself up the strategic point, wishing he had not read all those dirty magazines and hidden them under his bed. Volksmen still are engaging. Riflemen are getting rather outnumbered there. Going down. Grenadiers holding up there, and we are seeing a pack being sent up to support. Pioneers moving up in the wake of the Volks Grenadiers on the right flank. Oh my god, almost done. And also note he's got tons of munitions. I mean, he could easily have been placing down a lot of mines to make, you know, the advance of the Germans considerably more difficult. I mean, we are seeing minesweepers, but for Seph's sake, I mean, they're going to be a waste. Because again, Macaroni haven't bothered mining at all. I mean, he could easily have mined a bit here, or you know, anywhere. And again, it's not happening. Which again is not really good. But a large Wehrmacht force moving up there, 2 Volksgrenadier squad supporting a Grenadier squad. Pioneers are getting assaulted by riflemen. Greyhound moving in, unleashing death and destruction with the 37mm gun and the 50 caliber on top. Pioneers pushed off. Volksgrenadiers also being losing, and also note veterans who won for the Wehrmacht, the Volksgrenadiers, taking quite a bashing though, and are considerably nastily run off. Volksgrenadiers and Grenadiers moving in. Riflemen pushed off. And of course the Panzer was rather unique in different ways. Partly was probably one of the best equipped Wehrmacht Panzer divisions, even better equipped than a Waffen-SS division. But also it was rather unique in the way it was formed. It was formed from training and sort of instructors. You know, the usual sort of divisions usually meant to show off things. So in that sense, it was also an elite division in that way. And although, I mean, there had been sort of layer units before that, you know, a layer pioneer unit or a layer grenadier or layer artillery. I mean, they had rather been battalion level and not a full panzer division. Which again rather meant they had some pretty good NCOs called from former instructors and other training personnel. Volksgrenadiers here, though, coming under fire. Volksgrenadiers moving up there, pack ready to keep any armor cars at bay. Grenadiers moving up as well. Riflemen caught out here in the middle of the road. The Volksgrenadiers are charging in, and there we go, successfully pushing away the riflemen. Armor coming about in the background, and looks like weapon support center is up. 4 Tourney of Macaroni, a sniper is out. So far though, he's yet to reveal himself. Hoping to drain the Germans, and there we go. First sniper gets a grenadier. And a lot of munitions again. No attempt really at mining, which again I do think is a huge shame by Tourney of Macaroni. And then you squad oh, mine hit, pinned.
Hold the initiative. This raid will be taking Berlin by Christmas.
Riflemen are held up here, or at least holding up much larger force. Armor coming in to support. But Tourney of Macaroni's forces are a bit tattered. Again, the lack of medic station I feel isn't considerably helping him either. Getting his own minesweepers. And oh, we actually do see some mines, so that's about time. But sadly, does get interrupted. As an MG and some Volkswagen squads rather put a stop to that, causing heavy losses to the engineers. Might even lose that engineer squad and the flamethrower. And we are seeing a Sturm army actually up for Seph, giving him the heavy armoured car. And unleashing death and destruction on the riflemen.
Objective secured. Rifle squad defended.
And right in this case, there's definitely a lot of problems for Tourney of Macaroni. There's an armoured car, but he only has his own armoured car to stop. And there's also a pack and some Panzers, rather, meaning his armoured car can't do much. And, oh, he lost an infantry squad. That's absolutely not good for Tourney of Macaroni. He was too slow in retreating. He tried to delay the Germans, and he paid the price. At the same time, nice progress over here. MG42 covering the Volkswagens as they secure the territory. Armor car going to need repairs, and we are seeing now a tank depot going up. 2 armor cars out for Seph and the Panzers, although they were one of the few divisions in Normandy actually to have the more heavily equipped Puma, which was the variant with the 50mm gun. Only a few divisions in Normandy actually had that. Armor car moving up despite not being repaired, but possibly only expecting the Panzerfaust, in which case it's not going to work. And there go with the Volkswagen gone. The MG also retreats, knowing now there's nothing to really protect it. Armor car still patrolling. Grenadiers should keep moving in, secure the center, and then arms this Vaterlandes. Overall, Tourney of Macaroni is in a bit of trouble. He's lost an infantry squad. He's not really been able to cause a lot of damage to Seph. And Seph now with the 2 armor cars certainly possesses quite the advantage in mobile firepower. Oh, he also lost a sniper. That's definitely not good for Tourney of Macaroni. Again, the lack of mines, which again could have helped impede the whatever German mobility there was, is definitely not helping him either.
What's our plan?
Grenadiers hold up there. Moving out. Cautiously. And then moving away. Mine actually going down there, trying to protect the cutoff point. And somewhere else a mine goes off. I'm not entirely sure where though. But we do see a Sherman out. The M4 Sherman. And some Grenadiers actually move into the base. They do spot the tank up and dual Panzerschreck Grenadiers right in front of the Sherman. This can actually end up badly for the Sherman. Already heavy damage has been done. Oh, that was a nice raid by the Grenadiers by Seph right there. And that's rather going to keep the Sherman out of the fight for some time as it is repaired. Fighting on the far right flank causes another retreat for the Germans. And a mine actually went off there, I think. Slight retreat right there, and something else is on the way from the Sherman army. Could be a Nebelwerfer or could be a Stuke to try and take on the Sherman a bit more solidly. But repairs will be needed. I mean, this Sherman won't be able to support much of Macaroni's advances at the moment. There we go, Sherman getting up repaired. The 4th armoured a bit slowed down. The Panzer was able to break the spearhead for now. Again, a nice assault there with the Grenadiers with Panzerschrecks, keeping the Sherman a bit out of the fight, limiting its overall usefulness and giving him time to get his own Sturmgeschütz out in the field. Something a bit more suited. And another sniper out for Tourney of Macaroni. I would have liked to see some more infantry, but apparently he likes snipers. Now all of a sudden. Right here though, considerably outnumbered by the Volksgrenadiers, now veteran D2. Greyhound sneaking about, could do a bit. Another rifle squad, and again utterly outnumbered by the more concentrated Volksgrenadiers. And a full retreat from Seph right there, just in the face of one armor car. At the same time, minor progress on the left flank. Mine there by Macaronni, that's good. Minesweeper sorting out the mines. Clearing the way as a smaller task force is sent in. MG and Volksgrenadiers though holding up the west flank. And of course buying time for any sort of, there we go, Sturmgeschütz to move in. Veterans 1 would be a good move for Seph, by the way, at this stage. Let's go have a look at him, in fact. He has gone terror, and I do believe Macaroni just went armor. And we're actually seeing the right-hand side being chosen. He's going for a firestorm and inspired assault. So that's a bit of a rarer move that a Wehrmacht player actually focuses on the right-hand side most. Pretty much tend to go for the King Tiger straight away. Of course, in Company Heroes 2, we won't be seeing stuff like that since, well, if you want to call in the heavy armor, you will actually need the buildings for it. Whereas in Company Heroes 1, you can just call it off despite no matter what tech level you are at. Stuke though getting a hunt. Oh, Panzerfaust on the Greyhound. The Greyhound is in trouble. Backing through some poor saps. Back garden, crashing the fences. Almost ruining his barrel collection. Will the Greyhound be able to escape the Sturmgeschütz? Stuke misses. And another Sherman rolls out. At the same time, looks like the Western assault balked down. At the same time, moving up through the center, but an MG bunker at the crossroads keeps containing flamethrowers though in a nearby building. Carnage everywhere, fighting left and right. Sherman catching the Volksgrenadiers up against the hedgerows, unleashing death and destruction with its main gun and the 50 caliber. Pack supporting the Stuke moving up though. At the same time, Stuke moving up here, but it is getting hammered by another pack. And I do believe this is a message to one of the players. As they play, of course, I won't reveal, but I mean, you know, when they're playing and they're stringing, perhaps, you know, wait to after the match, perhaps, instead of directly whispering them in game. Seems a bit rude. Looking a bit grim for Tourney of Macaroni. Again, had he been mining a bit more aggressively, things might have looked better. Sherman getting repaired. Both Germans in dire need of repairs. And taking up for Seph. Moving on after having a nice force combination from the 3rd tier as well. 2 armored cars and a Sturmgeschütz. And there we go, the assault phase has been reached. We could be seeing a Panzer Command any moment now, though no veterancy for the armor or the assault guns.
The enemy has 300 points.
Pack ready. Sniper bombs up on the Volksgrenadiers.
Americans are seizing territory from us.
Volksgrenadiers are retreating. Sherman moves out. Right into a pack. That's good. Of course, the sniper could help with that if the sniper was anywhere near the front line. Of course, he can soon be. Another bunker up. Repair bunker to help keep the mechanized force of the Wehrmacht running. Still no Panzer Command. Second Sherman moving up. Nothing going on in the tank depot. Again, not very thoughtful, I would say. You hear from this fellow. The MG bunker pretty much keeping the center locked down nicely. And a few Volksgrenadiers creeping up. But they're not doing it very successfully considering they're out in the bloody open. Of course, they could have tried from this angle, but so few players actually do. Well, because they don't notice it. Now the Stuke is moving in. Grenadier gets sniped. Stuke actually exposes the side. Grenadiers moving up are getting blasted. Now the Stuka actually turns about though. Nothing going on there except the motor pool now might be getting something. Possibly an anti-tank gun would be a good bet now, although I think tank destroyers and up guns for the Shermans would work better now, would be more mobile and would allow them to sort of keep pushing in. Pack creeping out. Volkswagen's getting sniped. Most of the map though is in the hands of Seph, although just barely. And there we go, Panzer Command going up, I can notice. 2 Pioneer squads working on that and pushing in there with the armoured cars. Digging out the riflemen. And launching straight into the Sherman, which they are considerably less well equipped for. And there we go, 57mm anti-tank gun out. Based on the British 6-pounder anti-tank gun, in fact, because the Americans actually didn't have a design for such a gun of that sort of caliber. So they basically asked the Brits if they could copy their design, which the Brits allowed. Of which you then get the M1 57mm anti-tank gun. Oh, shot bounces off right there. Volkswagen's getting blasted. All efforts on the western flank, though, by Macaronni has actually died down. Instead of, perhaps trying to sort of draw forces away from here towards there, he's instead just allowing Seph to focus his forces here, which rather is to the advantage of Seph, instead of trying to sort of, slowly catch a few units off guard and destroy them crushingly. Though we do see the 76mm gun now up for the Shermans, increasing their penetration considerably, moving forwards in fact, and Panther is on the way for Seph, calling on the Panther battalion. Pack gets revealed, high close around, kills one of the crew. Sniper could just finish off the last one, and there we go, Pack decrewed, Grenadiers up. We could also soon be seeing a firestorm called in. Stug moving in, takes a few hits. Bit of a standoff right here, but again, Grenadiers on the other side. And of course, you come here too. You wouldn't be able to see across, here, but with the Grenadiers, you actually can. But again, that will change. In fact, you can even see that and calling it a firestorm if you're so deciding. Oh dearie me, he's doing so. And we are seeing the Panther pulling in veterans up, one up. He's preparing for an assault. Engineer squad down, anti-tank gun down, shed on fire. And there we go, the Panthers pushing in now that the majority of the defenders' hard points have gone out. Now there's just the Shermans, and they're actually splitting up. They are splitting up, allowing themselves to be knocked out easier in detail. And there we go, we do see Allied War Machine quickly popping up to save the day. Pack actually goes down, interestingly enough, but not really overall a good engagement for Tourney of Macaroni. And now a V1 rocket is actually ready for Seph. Of course, both Shermans were recovered, but still, that was pretty nasty. I suggest, augment the Shermans with perhaps either more Shermans or a few tank destroyers. Generally, you do want a bit more than just 2 Shermans. 3 or 4 tends to be a good number. Taking a few hits there, anti-tank gun recruit. Panzer und Stug pulling away. And the riflemen getting absolutely gutted in the process. But we do see an attack going up here, but of course there's still the MG42 waiting to lure in some Yankees, and doing so quite successfully. Sniper arriving. And there we go. And veteran 2 for the Germans as well now. Gives the Stug an MG and a health bonus, but for Panthers, basically just an MG. I mean, it doesn't actually make them tougher against other tanks. Only Veteran 1 does that. So depending on what you're facing, further veterancy can be either useful or pointless. Rather than getting hammered, although there is some American stuff to sort of make it difficult for the armored cars. There we go, armored car actually goes down. Grenadiers pushing in, first Grenadiers pushing in, the sniper MG actually back. And the Greyhound actually went down. What a shame. But the Panther seems pretty pleased. Let us return to Tourney of Macaronni. It's actually activated Allied War Machine. I think that might have been a mistake. Oh, he hits into a man with both Shermans. Oh no. And his units line up in such a manner. Oh, this is not good at all. Panther pulling in, Stug opening up. Packs could also be sent in. Anti-tank guns probably going to get sorted out shortly. Mine goes off there, the anti-tank in here can't actually support. And a V1's actually getting called in. The roar of the V1 knocks out the Panther. Oh, Seph! That's no good now, is it?
Casualties being reported.
Well, that should definitely go down in the book of blunders when you call in a V1 on your own units, or at least move it into the radius of the V1 rocket you just called in. Definitely the first time I've seen that. Although, I mean, we have seen, you know, stuff like a Henschel crashing into your own Panthers, haven't we, Hansi? Although Hans is actually in Japan now. Apparently he did not like jolly good old Blighty. We are seeing armor cars doing a bit of harassment right here on the right flank. Sticky bomb on the Stug. Armor car out of control. Destroyed engine on the Stug. You could actually get knocked out. And in fact, I mean, most of it, not all of Seph's armor is currently not really in a good position. He's got some infantry left, but that could actually get thrown off. Calliope moving up, and if only he had a medic station to sort of keep the infantry going, he might actually be able to sort of keep up pressure against Seph. There we go. Calliope unleashing death and destruction amongst the German troops, clearing out a pack, killing grenadiers and false grenadiers. And we are seeing them moving in from one side, Panzers moving in from another, anti-tank and getting recruited. Sniper needs to open up, Rifle needs to open up. And why haven't they been upgraded? MG-42 though is still fighting up, then the grenadiers almost down. Sniper just needs to fire one shot. Oh, the grenadiers manages to make it. He should actually have uncloaked them, just run after him. But no, the grenadier and all those Panzers make it back home safely. Damn close though, that could actually cost greatly to Seph. Now of course question becomes, what will Macaroni do now? He's getting another Sherman, but I also think he needs some infantry, and I think he needs to push pretty hard to secure as much territory as possible. MG hold up here at the cemetery wall, but looks like he might be moving away with his friend Heinz. Sherman getting repaired. Quite a few Shermans having gone down so far in this fight, and let's just speed a wee bit.
Our supplies are in.
Not much happening at the moment. Just territory being secured, and there we go. German counterattack pack quickly recruited, cloaked, and being moved away. I'm also pretty sure we won't be seeing packs moving around cloaked in company here too either.
The enemy is down to 300 points.
No snipers doing that. Pioneers getting blasted at. The Grenadiers again, the ones who survived, and now moving up with the Panzers Rex, hoping to get another victim. And both houses opposite the victory point are occupied. And the MG's quickly back into the fight. Oh! Another rifleman squad down for Tourney of Macaroni. He's definitely having a bit of a problem with keeping those alive or replacing them for that matter. Which is definitely not helping him out. And by the sound of it, fresh Panthers have arrived from the Panzer Company. Or Panther Battalion, actually, more specifically, since Panthers were usually organised in their own battalions.
Front shifting.
Nice hit on the Volksguns there, getting two with one shot. Panther quickly getting repaired. Mine engagement going down right here. Not a lot of effort though. And the Calliope doesn't seem to be doing much either. Oh, pioneers could actually be lost. Calliope barrage going on right up here, catching a few false grenadiers and a rain of rockets. And the Shermans actually go in the prime, but get hit directly by the pack. Quickly forcing them away again. Snipers them out. Actually, Macaroni's now got 2 snipers.
Our front lines are collapsing.
And there we go. Panther on the move. Catches a Sherman. Grenadiers getting sniped. Pioneers getting sniped. Volkswagen's moving in to do most of the fighting then. And the riflemen quickly evacuate the building as it comes under fire from the Panzerkampfwagen 5. The first of the variants pretty much, actually, or the prototypes anyway, pretty much just looked like a slightly different T-34 in fact. Then the Germans pretty much went, well, we can't have that now, can we? And then they pretty much all agreed to say, no. And then the final product became this. MG getting sniped quite viciously, and a Nubelwerfer actually out for the Panzer there. The Germans having quite a large number of these sort of rocket delivery systems. There was the Nebelwerfer, there was the Panzerwerfer, and of course there was the one we called the Stukazer Fürst, amongst other things. Calliope barrage those straight into the German base, not doing an awful lot of damage, so a bit of a waste. Calliope not really the best countered battery vehicle, it's more, you know, blowing up infantry defenses. Sticky bomb on the Panther, though the MG is doing alright. I mean, veteran 2 for tanks generally tends to help them quite nicely against infantry, but again, a bit of a lack of infantry for Tourney and Macaroni at the moment. And now we are seeing a pretty aggressive move by the Germans into the right hand side, cutting away territory and victory points from Tourney of Macaroni's territories. Panther slowly advances, and in the meanwhile the Volksgrenadiers are getting mutilated. Sending in a Sherman on your own, though, is considerably less good. Generally you want them to be operating in larger groups, consider them a bit the armoured Volksgrenadiers. Well, Volksgrenadiers are tanks, I suppose. Not really so good on their own, but they tend to be pretty damn good when they're working with something else. Preferably more of themselves.
Supply lines are broken. We have
territory disconnected for Tourney of Macaroni at the moment. Definitely not helping him out. Snipers sniping about, killing Volksgrenadiers indiscriminately. And not much else happening at the moment. Bit of light moving about. Could be more armors on the way from the Panzer Command. And of course, I mean, considering that Seph knows that the opponent has got an armored doctrine, of course, Panthers pretty much are the best choice. Since as soon as he gets a purging out that his Tourney of Macaroni gets, I mean, he is going to need a Panther to take that on. MG and Pack holding up the right flank, stopping any movements there nicely. And the Grenadiers moving up with Panzerfausts and Panzers Rex. Panther also moves in. Another Calliope barrage getting them right. Ooh, middle of everything. Anti-tank, and they're not pointing in the right direction. Sherman here could go down, and a V1 rocket is on the way. Sherman moves away. But it's too late. And the Sherman goes down. Pretty aggressive use of his V1s. I mean, this is not how you usually see it used. I mean, it's usually meant to sort of knock out howitzers and such, but I mean, Seph is actually using it on the battlefield to try and knock out enemy strong points, or for that matter, just concentrations of units. And while it's only knocked out one of his own Panthers, it's also knocked out a Sherman just now. And of course, right now, Tourney of Macaroni is rather getting outnumbered armor-wise. Now getting more anti-tank guns. Sherman down. And the fighting over here not doing too well either. Actually, haven't gotten 3 ERs for his riflemen, but again, he's only got 2 squads, and now he's even getting grenades, but he's not getting more riflemen. He needs more riflemen, not more things for them to throw at the enemy. Another Panther moves out. Spots the Greyhound. Greyhound also getting Panzerfausted, just a good measure. And a pack opens up, damaging the engine, making that pretty much easy prey. And there's a Calliope right there. Oh, move it away. Move it away, Tourney of Macaroni. And an anti-tank gun sent instant supported, only to get flanked by the Volksguns hiding up in a house. Anti-tank gun firing at the Panther, but at a very much wrong angle, and quickly the Panther just moves past it. This is looking like a disaster for the 4th Armoured. Volksguns inside the house are getting sniped viciously, but sadly it was never enough. And now we might see Calliope going down.
The enemy is after our victory point.
Well, and some of course might be complaining that the Calliope can't fire its main gun, but here's the thing. It was never supposed to. Sticky bomb on the Panther, damaged engine. Oh, so tragic. And Riflemen are trying to flank up anti-tank and moving in. And no sign of reinforcements anywhere. And there we go. Hopefully Fraps will behave nicely. Panther in trouble, but looks like it will manage to get behind the house, avoiding the anti-tank guns. Second Panther arrives. More machine gun fire is at it, but no infantry support. And recruiting the anti-tank gun with its re-exposed to the Panther, making them easy targets. Oh, this is not working out for Tourney of Macaroni at all. And he is obviously desperately hoping for a Pershing tank to arrive. And there we go. The Pershing tank did not fight in Normandy. It did come much later, though. A bit after the time in the fighting in the Ardennes, in fact. It had been ready for much longer, in fact, but it had been brought over because they rather thought the Shermans couldn't manage. It was only the Ardennes that rather convinced them that, yes, perhaps they might need something a bit heavier. Pershing rolls in with its 90mm gun. Main gun destroying the Panther. This could hurt. Tourney of Macaroni. No! Tourney of Macaroni pulls back, actually. Oh dear. And now the Panther actually manages to escape. And the other one takes up all the fire. Oh dear. Definitely not looking up for Tourney of Macaroni. Oh, and a sniper went down as well for Tourney of Macaroni.
We are losing a sector.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, the Pershing things have been stabilized a bit, but obviously Tourney of Macaroni is definitely not out of danger. And now we are seeing Knights Crossholders moving in, unleashing a barrage from the MP40. MP44s, actually. That was a definitely huge mistake on my part there by mentioning this. The submachine gun, not the assault rifle. Or at least the wrong submachine gun anyways. It was also mentioned as the MP44, although even previously before that in 1942, when it was sort of first really there, it was named as the machine carabiner. 42.
Losing ground out.
But then it was not accepted. The field wasn't quite keen on the whole, you know, let's give our troops something and fire of bullets. Generally, generals always have had problems with that because they always fear it will lead to a huge waste of bullets. Fascinatingly enough. Knight's Cross getting blasted. Volkswagen is a bit in the zone of danger as the Pershing rolls in. And Heinz gets obliterated. Bit of snipering going on, although this sniper will need some healing. I think at this stage, Tourney and Macaronni should either augment the Pershing with another Sherman or some tank destroyers. And the Volkswagens are trying to hunt down the anti-tank. Why is this anti-tank far away on its own? Bit of a standoff, although now 3 Panthers out. That is quite the unit. Quite the concentration of tanks. Anti-tank and dodges the Nebelwerfer rockets. But for how long? Victory points are still draining down though. And we are seeing... Wait, did he cancel it? Something was on there. No, instead he's getting actually more riflemen now. But again, there are 3 Panthers. Of course, he doesn't quite know it yet, but he's going to know soon, and it's going to hurt. When he finds out, there we go. He actually moves the Pershing in a rather exposing maneuver, allowing the Panthers to quickly get the drop on it. Definitely not a good start. My sincerest apologies for the technical difficulties. They can happen from time to time, though there's also nice periods where nothing happens, really. Veterancy free up for the Panthers. Will protect against Diggy Bombs. Will protect against pretty much nothing else. Oh, bazookas, but we aren't really dealing with bazookas now, are we? Panther, though, is, well, largely outnumbering the Pershing, and Pershing driving straight into the Panzers with... Well, the Grenadiers with Panzers Rex. Panther immobilized. Pershing out of control. Not looking all too dandy.
Sector B captured.
None too dandy at all. Panther goes down in an incendiary explosion. Still 2 remains. Now the Nebelwerfer adds in for the fun. Looks like Tourney of Macaroni will be putting his faith into the 2nd Pershing. Perhaps no, he actually does not. What does he go for? Well, he can't seem to decide what he wants to do. He's cancelling, then he's not, and oh dear.
We're at 100 points and dropping.
Well, I don't think another Pershing will solve problems for Tourney of Macaroni. He's simply been bashed too hard. He does not have the sufficient resources to actually now overcome Seph's, which is basically the problem. Partly again due to a lack of armor and a lack of mines.
A fuel point is being seized.
And the fact that he's constantly been losing squads. Seph, on the other hand, has largely been able to keep his units intact. Veterancy free rifle, I mean, that's nice, but again, it's just not going to cut unless they can get the Panzers off the Grenadiers. And I don't think the Grenadiers are going to be lending out theirs. More rockets.
Allies are down to 50 points.
Knight's Cross moving in. Oh, engaging. And why did he get another Calliope? That just seems pointless, to be honest. And another V1, and obviously right here, Tourney and Macaroni can figure out where that's going to be landing, and it's not in the Brittany region. And there we go, V1 flies in, doesn't do anything. And that's the third V1 rocket in one match. I think that's a new record, at least from what I've seen. Panthers roaming about everywhere. Now he actually adds in a King Tiger. After 50 minutes, Seph pretty much decides, oh well, might as well get one. And another Calliope barrage, but again, too little too late. Nice course moving in. Considerably larger force, and in fact some of his full guns are still intact, whereas for Tourney Macaroni there's been much larger losses. Panther moves in from one side, King Tiger advances from the front, and there's a Panther on the right flank. King Tiger drives right in front of an anti-tank gun, but again I fear that won't do much against the King Tiger anyways. And there we go. Bit of needler for fire. The Riflemen are definitely not doing too well either. Panther flanks in. And the sniper, went down to the Nebelwerfer's fire. Literally. The actual fire. And there we go, GG. And game over. A loss to the 4th Armored despite brave efforts. Sadly, what was lacking for Tourney and Macaroni was partly mines. It was lacking in sort of that initial damage to slow down Seph, but also his anti-tank efforts and generally mechanized efforts were not too well. He basically only bothered with 2 Shermans, and for some reason he began getting anti-tank guns. He should have gotten more Shermans or more tank destroyers. He should have been more mobile, and that way he should have been able to overwhelm the opponent. Sadly, that did not come quite easily, and instead Seph was slowly but surely able to gain the upper hand, despite knocking out one of his own Panthers with a V1 rocket. So of course that is something to note, although I mean it was interesting to see Seph pretty much only relying on the right hand side of Chow. That's pretty rare to see as well, and it was a good use of the firestorm to sort of break up the initial defense to move in the Panther, and of course the V1 usage despite knocking out his own Panther was also pretty nice to see. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own or provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.